that people don't really realize what it takes to win. That the great thing about being at 90% is at least you know you're halfway there. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference.
Yo, so that's the Will Smith I remember, okay? One thing about Will Smith and his career, his life choices, you don't want to take a relationship advice from him. But when it comes to success, when it comes to discipline, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to hard work, he's that guy. So let's tap into this video fully. Him and Martin sat down with Mero from Deezus and Mero, formerly, and Carmelo Anthony, promoting the new Bad Boy movie, Part 4, you know? And let's just see what he's talking about.
The thing is that people don't really realize what it takes to win, right? And it's like there's a great quote. Don Simpson, who was one of the original producers of the first Bad Boys, and we saw a screen and it was really good. And he said, I said, it's good. It's at about 90%, And he said the great thing about being at 90% is at least you know you're halfway there.
Halfway,
right?
It's crazy.
And I was like. And that has turned out to be so true. The difference between 90% and 100% is lifetimes of difference. The difference between a good player and a great player is light year.
Okay, so you see he talks about the difference between 90% and 100%. Is light years, okay? He's basically speaking on perfection, greatness, top tier, being at a level that most people don't reach. The elite performers, the elite thinkers, the people who move things in the world in a different way than just a normal, common person, okay? He's saying basically like, 90% to a lot of people is damn near good enough. But to get to 100%, he said when you're at 90%, you're just halfway there, according to his director, right? You think about it, if you go through life and you see that, there's been a lot of things that you've done haphazardly, and I'm gonna just speak on myself. Like sometimes I just don't go that extra mile to make sure everything is precise and everything is as great as it could be, where I've exhausted all possibilities of being even better. Sometimes I do that, but most of the times probably not, being honest. And I think the typical human being probably doesn't go to the fullest extent on most things. When you look at Will Smith, though, you look at his career, if you remember that one clip where he said he's willing to die on a treadmill.
Only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill, right? I will run.
You would not be outworked.
I will not be outworked,
right?
Period.
Yeah.
You might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be sexier than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple.
He said, you may be faster than me. You may be stronger than me, but I'm not going to quit. So that's the difference between great people and good people. The people who are great on a whole nother level. It's like Kobe Bryant versus Kobe Bryant versus Carmelo Anthony. You know, talented Carmelo Anthony. You know, maybe even more gifted naturally than Kobe. But Kobe was striving for perfection. So his results were different. It is what it is. Let's get into the next clip.
It's like, you know, my son was a chronic B student, and he would get B's all the time. And he was like, Dad, you know, it's just, I really could get A's, you know, if I wanted to. And I was like, nigga, I promise you, you can't.
Believe in yourself.
I promise you, you can't. You think that the difference between a B and an A is the same as the difference between a C and a B. Nigga, it's not. It's not. Right? It's like you might have to eat differently. Like you might have to change friends. You might have to study sleep, you know, to get from B's to A's. It's like the difference between good and great, it is underestimated by most humans. It's like if you want to be good, you can be talented and be good. You can wake up and be good. Like, you know, but if you good and you just wake up and be good, you're not gonna beat me. You're never gonna beat me if you're not like, if you're not doing, you know, 70-hour weeks on your craft, right? And
okay, so, you know, you see he's talking about his son, like, you know, as a B student, and basically saying like, you know, his son was like, man, I can get an A. I can get A's. I know I can. He's like, no, you can't, because you may have to eat different, change your friends, study sleep to get to an A, right? What he's basically saying, like, and look, I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard this video, watched this video, it really made me look in the mirror about everything that I have failed at and not saw through all the way. And knowing what I could put forward versus what I'm doing, when you really want massive success, you want to be rich on a certain level, the results are direct reflections of your actions. And when your actions don't match up to your goals, there's no wonder why you're not getting where you want to go. It is just plain and simple. So you think about it, like, majority of the people, that's why 1%ers are 1%ers, right? Because nobody else is like them. Nobody else is going to do exactly what it takes to become 1%. To be a top earner, a top performer, you know, like, imagine how many people you know that was super talented, man. Oh, he would have been better than so and so. He would have been, you know, he was nice. He was this, he was that. And you look at like people, I remember players from back in my day in high school that were like cherished, heralded better than some of the players that made it to the NBA, and they never made it. And the reason being is because you gotta go that extra mile. He said you have to eat different. How many people are eating different to get to their goals, right? And like, you know, I want to be some kind of fitness coach, right? But I'm out of shape right now. So what is that? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up, right? You may have something that you want to do, but you're not willing to put some things to the side or change up your habits in order to make it happen. You have to do what it takes. Changing friends. You know how they say that your income is the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And so when you look at it, and when he was talking about with his son with grades, it's basically saying like, look, some of your friends is dumb, you know, basically. You need to hang around some of the smart kids. You hang around the smart kids, you might get the A that you think you deserve, that you think you could get. Study sleep. That's what he said. He said basically like, you're not even getting the rest that you need. You're not getting, you know, you're not doing what it takes to get to that next level. That's important. That's really important. And so we got to really look at like goal setting and being realistic with who we are, right? So if you want this goal that's just way up here, you can't just assume that it's going to happen out of thin air, right? Yes, I do believe in the law of attraction, law of assumption, all of that kind of stuff. But you still have to do what it takes. You still have to put in the massive action to breed the result. Period. Point blank, period. You know? He also said, basically, it's a lot of things, a lot of people are talented, so they're just good. But greatness is another level, all right? So let's get into the rest of this.
It's like that is such a hard thing to communicate to people, and it's even more difficult when people are talented. When people get a B easy.
They think they got it.
They think they got it, and it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, it's not easy, but it is really simple to change your life. It's so simple, right? People don't realize that one bad night fucks up 10. You can't get drunk and fucking not work out on Saturday. You can't, you mess up 10 days. Like somebody else is getting past you in that time. It's like the level of sharpness and discipline that it takes to get to the heights that you dream of is really simple. It's just not easy.
Love that.
Wow, so while I'm getting fat, somebody else. That's basically what you're saying. While I'm getting fat.
70-hour weeks. Who's willing to do that? He said, honing in on one thing, to see it to where it's got to go. Who's willing to put in 70-hour weeks? Because I am. And he said it's not easy. It's not easy, but it is simple. Basically saying, like, success can be tracked. You can do the right thing to get success. Will you do? It may be difficult as far as it may be hard to do, but it's simple. So what that means is like, okay, if somebody told you that you need to spend 8 hours a day doing this, that, and this, right, to get to point A, from point A to point B, right? And you look at this, that, and this, it's like, whoa, that's crazy. That's a little too much. So you mean to tell me I got to wake up at 5 in the morning? You mean to tell me I got to go to the gym every day? You mean to tell me I got to read 100 pages a day, or even just 10 pages a day of this so-called textbook or whatever the case may be? And you mean to tell me I got to also write for about an hour a day? Now, think about that. Those are simple tasks, but they're hard. Because most people are not going to do that every single day for the allotted time that they need to do it to, So, and then he said, one bad night can mess up 10 days. One bad night. That means, that one night, he said that one night that you go out and get drunk, can mess up 10 days of hard work. So you can't afford to, just because you got drunk, to not go to the gym the next day. I can relate. How many times have I had a good 3 or 4 days, and then just 2 days, or even a full good week, and then 2 days I just go off the rails, eating ice cream, eating pizza, burgers, fries, just on 2 days, and now all the stuff that I did during the week is just erased. Literally erased. You know how they say you can't outwork a bad diet. So it takes sacrifice. And sacrifice is the most important factor of success. One of the most important factors of success. The willingness to deny yourself the instant gratification of what makes you feel good in order to do what you need to do for your results. That's a different level. That's a different level, man. Shout out to Will Smith, but I'm gonna let this last clip ride out. Hit that like button. Peace.
Somebody else's.
So no, listen. So Martin, so we decided we were going to do Bad Boys 4, right? So we talked. It's like, so what we do is we usually have one meeting before. So I called him. So hey man, listen, we want to do it. We're going to have a meeting. So I go to the meeting. We haven't even decided we're going to do it, and he had lost 20 pounds. I was like, yo, what is you doing?
I want to surprise him. But Will ain't gonna let you outdo him. So as soon as we finished, he left and went right to the gym.